All right, you guys. So, as a lot of you know, I'm wanting to do a deal breakdown on every one of the properties I buy. So, hopefully, you guys can learn something here and take something away, avoid some of the pitfalls that I fell into. So, here we go. This is my second rental I ever bought. Just real quick overview. It was in Dubuque, Iowa. I was living in Georgia prior. Moved up to Iowa. I was renting a room from a guy just trying to live super cheap, and ended up buying one in Dubuque. So, how I found it, this was just a regular on market property. I at that time I didn't really understand how to generate leads and find off market stuff like that, so I just went with the regular on market strategy. So this time around, I had learned to find a good real estate agent that knows what they're doing and understands investing. So again, went on the Bigger Pockets forums. I just searched Dubuque, Iowa, looked through a lot of the conversations that had that in there, found a real estate agent that was an investor himself, and he was active in the investing community. So shout out to Jared. So he's the man if anyone needs a realtor. Yeah, it was a super competitive market too. I remember we were writing offers on everything. Everything was going way above asking. It was during that time we were writing offers for properties sight unseen and all that, which made my now wife extremely nervous, but ended up working out. So we ended up getting this one. We got a home inspection on it, so that I'll go into that in a second. um, how I underwrote it and negotiations and stuff. So this one was actually a rental before, so I had some data there on what I could kind of expect the rents to be. But other than that, I just pulled out a Google Sheets. I knew my income, estimated my expenses there. So I think I personally like to take away 27% right off the top for maintenance, management, vacancies, and capital expenditures. And that goes up and down depending on your market and how old the building is and that sort of stuff. But that's just a general rule of thumb I like to do. So, and I could see it really didn't cash flow that well, but I was fine with that. At that time, I was renting, and I knew, renting is you're just like throwing money in the fireplace. So I definitely didn't want to do that. I wanted to be, on the home ownership side of things. So I knew I was living in this one. I knew it wasn't really an investment property right away, so I was totally okay with that. But I think I got the old listing here. Yeah, I do. So you can see some befores. I'm always really bad at taking before and afters, so here's some decent befores. So yeah, you can see it's a nice little property. It was clean. It was just needed a little updating. Yep, we ended up doing some, cleaning it up, making it a little bit nicer. Yeah, and then got in a home inspection. This was kind of a cool thing that Jared basically taught me. Get a home inspection. It's going to have all this stuff on it. So it does a couple things. First of all, it's going to have a whole bunch of stuff that you didn't never saw. Some problems that you were just totally unaware of that now you know. But another cool thing is you can use that as a tool, as leverage in your negotiations when you're under contract. Because in most situations, you'll have some sort of inspection period in your contract that allows you to say, okay, this is my time to kind of really inspect and do my due diligence, and I'm allowed to back out of the deal if I want to at this point. So we did that. I think the inspection was like $400 or something, not crazy. And they give you all this information, and they give you like a basically, like, I don't want to say a weapon, but they give you a lot of ammunition for negotiations. Be like, hey, seller, I didn't know about all this stuff. Like, this is crazy. This is going to cost me X dollars. Like, you guys got to give me a credit, or we got to change the purchase price or something like that. So that's exactly what we did. Um, Ended up getting, I don't know what it was. It wasn't even that big of a credit, just because how crazy the market was. But I think we got like a $1,500 credit, and the inspection was only 400. And then on top of that, you get all that information. And on top of that, the inspectors usually have some sort of insurance policy too. Like if they ever miss anything, like I know that inspector said he'll buy the property if he ever misses anything. So yeah, totally worth that. That was a pro tip. Yeah. How I funded it, learned my lesson again from the last one. This time I just went with a local banker, someone that Jared had worked with in the past, I believe. Just did a regular owner occupied loan. So that was that's one of the big advantages when you're actually moving into the property is you can get financing on it that's at a low interest rate, a super low down payment. It's over 30 years fixed. The financing is pretty awesome when you're going to live in it. So all you got to do is move into it for about a year, which we knew we were going to do during that time. We're just going to plan on fixing it up and then eventually make it a rental. So just saved up the money by living cheap. I know I was renting a room from a guy at the time. Just my car was paid off. I didn't really have that many bills or anything. So just stocking away all my money. So our exit strategy on this one. I wonder if I can move. Yeah, I can. Yeah. Um, Exit strategy. So how we're planning on making money here. We just did like a pretty simple value add. Again, I just never take good pictures, but we ended up just updating it. We painted the trim white, painted the cabinets white. It ended up looking really nice in the end. And then our initial strategy was just to do a regular rental, but kind of over that time, I had discovered the rent to own option, which I really like, and I'll talk about a little bit more later. Here's some befores you can see. I got all my little pieces of tape numbering all the cabinets and stuff. And these are some of my favorite pictures of all time. I don't know why. I just love them. Just you can see like we're just out here trying to live our lives and do dishes, and I can see I'm meal prepping, and we're just like I have tape all over trying to paint this thing. And after a long day, Alexa's helping me paint this thing. So I don't know why. I just really love those pictures. This kind of shows that we're just out here like trying to live life and make it happen. So yeah, here's some more stuff. Really bad pictures. I apologize. Just and we really didn't do anything too crazy, like I was saying. So I mean, this doorway was probably the biggest project. It was pretty short. I'm not that tall of a guy, but I kind of was like worried about hitting my head sometimes. So took that out and put a regular size one in, which again don't have good before and afters, but you can see me in my Crocs here putting it in, finishing it up. Yeah, and then ended up selling it on a rent to own agreement. So why I really like this stuff as opposed to regular rentals, especially for single family houses. So I think you get a higher quality tenant. You get someone who is planning on owning the place, so they take way better care of it. They also have a little bit of money up front to put up for the option fee, first month's rent, security deposit. So these are people that are going to respect your property. They have their finances are usually in order a little bit better because they have some money saved up. And on top of that, one of the biggest bottlenecks for me right now is my access to capital, and this gives you a little like capital injection right away when you go and rent out your property because though depending on what you negotiate or what you're offering, the option fee for me it's usually around 3-5% of the end purchase price, which you can again negotiate there, and you get a higher purchase price too because um, these things are beneficial for them and they're willing to pay a little higher purchase price for the ability to lock down this property and do that. So definitely loving the rent to owns right now. Lessons learned stuff that I was trying to think of stuff like takeaways here that I could call on and learn from. But I think definitely get an inspection. That's a pretty good tool in your tool belt. Use that inspection contingency too, because a lot of the times, like people are so afraid to lock up a property and put something under contract, but you have, as long as you write it in the contract, you have an inspection contingency, and you can use that to your advantage to do whatever, to negotiate, to just check out the property, and during that time, no one else can buy it because you have it under contract. So definitely use that. That's a strong tool too. Also, I hired another contractor. I can't remember what the situation was, but I was super busy, needed something done. Hired him by the hour. Learned not to do that. So that was a pretty bad situation. Just it was like one of those things where it should have taken 2 hours, ended up taking like 2 weeks, sort of thing. So don't hire contractors by the hour, hire them by the job. Definitely learned that. And then simple stuff can make a huge difference. Like I said, we didn't do anything major to this property. We just painted the trim white, painted the cabinets white. I did a doorway, some other major, minor stuff here and there. And then take better photos. Yeah, I'm definitely working on that. So I'll on my future projects, I'll definitely try to take better photos. But yeah, hopefully you guys learned something here, got some piece of value from this. Yeah, the point of me doing these is to, you know, put myself out there, let you guys see my projects, and hopefully you learn something from them that you can accelerate your path, just by skipping some of the steps that I had to go through. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed.